As I stood at the edge of the river, I couldn't help but think of Antoine and his words of wisdom. Salut, Antoine. C'est Two-Face? He had asked, his voice laced with a mix of curiosity and concern. I had been on the cusp of calling Lara, my friend who shared my passion for the river, when Garrick interrupted me. Salut, Garrick. I replied, my tone a mix of surprise and annoyance. What are you doing? Garrick, ever the jokester, laughed and said, Tas tout gash. Salut, I was just about to call Lara. I shook my head, chuckling. Non, n'est pas sympa, ca. I said, trying to convey the complexity of the situation. Garrick grinned mischievously. Bon, tu vois, c'est cette rivière au bout du monde, he said, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Tu la vois? I nodded, and he continued, this river, it's the Tarn. We're in Loser. And that's where I met Lara, la nymphe du Tarn. I raised an eyebrow, intrigued by the tale. Elle n'invente du Tarn, Garrick said, his voice low and mysterious. I'll tell you the story because it's a legend, a Brantesque legend. As we walked along the riverbank, Garrick began to recount the tale of Pierre, a young shepherd who had lived in the region centuries ago. Pierre had a special gift, he could play the flute with unparalleled skill. Every evening, he would come to the Tarn's gorges to play his flute, entranced by the beauty of the river and the nymphs that dwelled within. One day, as Pierre played his flute, a magnificent aquatic goddess emerged from the depths of the Tarn. Her name was Alara, and she was captivated by the enchanting music. She proposed a deal to Pierre. If he would play his flute every evening in the gorges, she would reward him with a treasure beyond measure. Pierre, enticed by the promise, became increasingly consumed by his newfound love for the nymph and the treasure. He began to neglect his duties as a shepherd and spent more and more time in the gorges, playing his flute for Alara. But as time passed, he realized that he had made a terrible mistake. He lost the treasure, and Alara disappeared into the depths of the Tarn. From that day on, Pierre roamed the gorges, searching for Alara and the treasure, but to no avail. The legend says that Pierre's story teaches us that there is more to life than material possessions and earthly desires. It's a reminder to appreciate the beauty of nature, the soul, and the music that brings us closer to the divine. As we continued our journey, Garrick and I found ourselves at the edge of the Tarn, surrounded by the breathtaking beauty of the gorges. We floated effortlessly on the paddle, taking in the sights and sounds of the river. The silence was almost palpable, broken only by the gentle lapping of the water against the rocks. Suddenly, Garrick pointed to the sky. "Regarde, Gary! Les voitures!" he exclaimed, his eyes shining with excitement. We watched in awe as the majestic birds of prey soared overhead, their wings spread wide. As we paddled further downstream, Garrick regaled me with stories of the voitures, their habits and habitats. He spoke of the voitures fauve, with their striking golden plumage, and the voitures moine, with their distinctive black markings. As the sun began to set, Garrick and I decided to take a break and rest our weary bodies. We settled onto the riverbank, the sound of the water lapping against the shore creating a soothing melody. As we sat there, I couldn't help but think of the story of Pierre and Alara. It was a reminder that there is more to life than the material world, that the beauty of nature and the music of the soul can bring us closer to the divine. And so, as the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Garrick and I made our way back to the village, our hearts filled with the magic of the Tarn and the legend of Pierre and Alara.